episode of Streaming Safari here at the Lion Habitat Ranch. This week we're going to be doing some fun things with balloons, but first, as usual, I'd like to thank you if you've been able to come out to see us, if you've been able to make any donations or help us out on Amazon Smile. As usual, all those links are right down below, and all of that does a really big help to us. We are a nonprofit, so anything you can help us with just go right back to taking care of all of our amazing animals, including just coming in to visit. And I hope you all had an amazing Thanksgiving. And so today, what we're going to do is talk about something called laminar flow. And as usual, Denise is holding our camera, and she looks super excited that I'm going to introduce you to some math.
Sadness and silence and crickets.
Bentley is looking at me like, I don't like math. Can we not do math? Let's not. I'm asleep. Anyway, we're going to do math anyway. Not a lot of math, just a little bit. All right. So what we're going to be talking about today is what's called laminar flow, and I'm so excited because I've been waiting to do this experiment with you guys, and so I really hope it goes well. So laminar flow is just talking about a flow of essentially like a liquid like water, the way that you would think it moves through a pipe. So all of this, imagine this as like different parts of the water. They're all moving smoothly in a straight line, whereas a lot of the time we get turbulence. We get turbulent flow where it gets all mixed up, and that's where you see, like, if you see like a waterfall, you'll see parts that are really, really slick, and then as it goes over the waterfall and the water speeds up, you'll see it create that foaminess, that whiteness. And so that's all that turbulent flow. The laminar flow is based on something called a Reynolds number. A Reynolds number is not a number that has any kind of like value to it, so like you measure things in feet. This is something that's just a combination of different things, and it comes out and it gives you a value, it spits out a value, and when you get that value, the smaller the value is, the more likely you've got laminar flow, or a very fluid flow. So the Reynolds number is the inertial force over the viscous force. And if you want to simplify this, all this means is that it's talking about how fast the water is moving versus how viscous the water or the fluid that you're using is. So viscosity, we know what that is, right? If you take some water and you pour it out of a pitcher, it's going to pour really, really fast. It's not very viscous. But if you take something like honey and you pour it out of something, it's going to move really, really slowly, and it's going to be really, really clear when you look through it. There's not going to be a lot of turbulence going on because it's more viscous. So the more viscous it is, the more likely it's going to have laminar flow, even if it's moving faster, right? Because we're dividing. And this is kind of what it looks like in a little more of a sciencey sense. We're talking about the density, the flow speed, and the linear dimension over the dynamic viscosity. So it's a little bit complicated, but essentially it's just saying, Denise is nodding her head, ferociously nodding. That is basically just saying we're talking about how fast is the liquid moving versus how thick is it. Is that simple enough?
Sure.
Sure, okay. Well, let's get to the fun part. I do recommend an adult for this experiment because we are going to be using a couple different sharp objects. You will need some scissors and then something sharp like a knife, or I have a box cutter, or you might even want to use something like a needle or a pin, because the different size of the hole you get is going to actually kind of determine how fast your balloon deflates. So you might want a hole that's a little smaller, and so if you just prick it with a pin, which I don't have on me right now, but if you prick it with a pin, it's going to make a smaller hole and your laminar flow will last a lot longer. So the fun things that you'll need are simply some latex balloons, and I do want to make some comments about balloons. If you're ever using balloons, make sure you dispose of them properly. If you're using 100% latex balloons, technically they're supposed to be completely biodegradable. Now, it takes a really, really long time, and studies are iffy about whether they're completely biodegradable. Supposedly they're also compostable, so if you're ever using balloons, what I would suggest is cutting them into tiny, tiny pieces, and if you have compost, putting them in the compost, that they might take a while to kind of start to disintegrate. And then you'll need some electrical tape and some scissors and some sharp objects to cut your balloons with. So some of these balloons, I have some hopefully colorful water in. We'll see how it turns out. And what I'm going to need Denise to do is when I slice these balloons, she's going to need to get real close, and we're going to try to make some water that looks like it's not moving. All right. So what you're gonna need to do is fill your balloons with water. Now these are not water balloons, these are regular balloons that you usually put helium or air into. So I've kind of pumped them up as much as possible. They kind of came out different sizes just because I didn't want to pop them, but you can play with how much water you put in them as well. And what you want to do with your electrical tape is cut it into some little pieces and then make those pieces so that they set up a small square. And this will kind of hold the tension of the balloon in this area after you cut a small hole in it. Now the first one I did this with did pop, so it might pop. Oh! As soon as I said it. Okay, that's why we got spares. And I also...
You're running out.
Excuse me, balloons. All right, well, we have our colorful ones left, so hopefully those will not.
I don't know.
Let's see.
I feel we're going to be doing a video edit.
If I had to edit this video and make more balloons for you guys, I'm going to be so sad. All right, so this one should actually have some purple water in it, so it should be fun. So anyway, try to get your balloons to not pop on you like they did on me. All right. This one looks like it's going okay. So far. This is what happens to us here on Streaming Safari. But I do have my wet floor sign and a squeegee. All right. And you're going to take your sharp object and poke a hole in it. And our laminar flow is going to be coming right out of the balloon at this point. So as the curve turns over, that's where we're going to start getting turbulence because the gravity is going to make the water speed up and raise that Reynolds number. All right, are you ready? Oh no!
You have one balloon left.
Luck with this, guys. I tried this before and I promise it worked. I am so sad right now. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this one up onto the Jeep and see if maybe that'll help us out a little more. Oh man, guys. I even tested this one for you beforehand. Sometimes this happens with science. All right, we can't explode this one because this is the last one I have.
I don't know where Jessica's at. There's a lot of people down there looking for people.
I think that my balloon might be too wet. I am so sad right now.
Oh, I think that was enjoyable.
You just watched me pop a million balloons. What are we going to do about this, Denise?
We can talk about why water is important for zookeepers. Are there any jobs that actually have water in them? Do you know? Do you need a moment?
I need a moment, okay? I was so excited for this experiment, guys, and all of my balloons popped on you. I was trying to use this cart, and I think it might be because of the padding that I had underneath it. So I would do this on a hard surface like a table. I'm really upset right now, guys. I'm so sorry.
So what we'll go ahead and do.
I will make Denise record another one of these for you guys. Where I pump up some more balloons with water, and I promise I will get some laminar flow video for you guys.
Well, while she is recovering for a moment, water is actually in zookeeping jobs. So anybody who works with any kind of animals that live in water, say fish or marine mammals and things like that, there's actually something really important we've talked about in streaming safaris before, and that is life support. So there are people who have jobs specifically maintaining the water and the life support systems and all the piping and everything like that for those animals in order for them to survive in human care.
And laminar flow will actually be very important for those jobs because you will want that water coming out of those pipes at a certain speed.
Correct. All right, guys.
I will post a video for you guys. I am so sorry. I just, you know, the balloons didn't cooperate. I'm so sad right now. I've been waiting weeks to do this experiment for you guys.
I enjoyed it.
We'll record a video, and Denise enjoyed water splashing all over me, so I guess we're all right. I will record another video for you guys, and we'll post it below. Thank you. See you next week. So Bella has helped me figure out what was wrong with our experiment, guys. When you fill your balloons with the water, make sure when you tie them, there's no air in them. So if they don't have air in them, that should help you out. You figured that out, huh, Belle? Yeah. So right below, I'm going to post some really cool laminar flow videos that I did get from doing some more that I made sure I tied with no air in them, made sure they were nice and dry when I put the tape on. So hopefully you guys enjoy those videos. I'll post right below. Thanks. That one's lovely. That one I cut the tape.